A long time ago, in the city of Alexandria, a baby girl was born. Her name was Cleopatra. She was not an ordinary child. She was born into a royal family. This family ruled Egypt, but they came from another country. Cleopatra's family was Greek, not Egyptian. They were called the Ptolemies. Many Egyptians did not trust them because they did not speak the Egyptian language or follow Egyptian customs. But Cleopatra would grow up to be different from all the rulers before her. Cleopatra lived in a beautiful palace. There were gardens, fountains, and rooms full of gold and silver. She had soft clothes, sweet fruits to eat, and music to enjoy. From the outside, her life looked perfect. But inside the palace, life was not always happy. There were many secrets, many dangers. In the royal family, people often fought each other to take power. Even brothers and sisters could become enemies. But Cleopatra had something special. She was curious. She wanted to learn. While many girls in her time learned only how to look pretty or behave politely, Cleopatra studied many things. She read books. She asked questions. She loved learning. She studied science, math, and history. But her favorite subject was language. She learned to speak Greek, Latin, Egyptian, and even Hebrew. It is said that she could speak at least 7 languages. This made her different. This made her powerful. At night, when the city was quiet, Cleopatra sat alone in her room. She opened her books. She lit a small lamp and wrote in her journal. She wrote about her dreams. She wrote about her hopes. She wanted to be more than just a queen. She wanted to be a good leader. She wanted to understand her people and help them live better lives. Cleopatra also loved stories. She read ancient Egyptian tales about gods and brave heroes. She dreamed of being like them, strong, smart, and kind. While other royals only spoke Greek, Cleopatra wanted to speak like the people of Egypt. She learned the Egyptian language. She also respected the religion and culture of the land. She wanted her people to feel that she was one of them, not just a foreign queen. As she grew older, Cleopatra saw many sad things. Her mother disappeared when Cleopatra was still a young girl. No one knew exactly what happened. Some said her mother died. Others said she was killed in a fight for power. Cleopatra's father, King Ptolemy XII, was not a strong king. Many people in Egypt did not like him. They thought he spent too much money and let other nations control Egypt. Sometimes the family had to leave the country just to stay safe. Even in hard times, Cleopatra kept learning. She kept dreaming. She believed that knowledge was power. She believed that if she worked hard and stayed strong, she could help her country. She practiced speaking in front of mirrors. She wrote speeches. She watched the way her father ruled and thought about what she would do differently. Cleopatra was not just preparing to wear a crown. She was preparing to serve her people. She wanted to listen to them, understand them, and lead them with care. She believed a queen should not just sit on a throne. A queen should walk among her people and care about their lives. By the time she was 13, Cleopatra already understood that being queen would not be easy. There would be enemies. There would be challenges, but she was not afraid. She was ready to fight for what was right. Cleopatra's journey was just beginning. She was still a young girl, but her heart was strong and her mind was sharp. She was not waiting for others to tell her what to do. She was writing her own story. This is the story of a girl who did not dream of power for herself. She dreamed of using power to help others. A girl who looked beyond the crown and dreamed of a better Egypt. Her name was Cleopatra, and her journey was only just beginning. When Cleopatra was 18 years old, her father, King Ptolemy XII, passed away. Before he died, he wrote in his will that Cleopatra must share the throne with her younger brother. His name was Ptolemy XIII. He was only 10 years old. In ancient Egypt, it was common for brothers and sisters to rule together. But Cleopatra was already a young woman with a strong mind. Her brother was just a child. Cleopatra believed she was ready to rule alone. At first, Cleopatra tried to work with her brother. She spoke kindly to him and helped him understand the duties of a ruler. But some men in the royal court did not like Cleopatra. They thought she was too smart and too powerful. These men wanted to control the young king. So they began to whisper lies into Ptolemy XIII's ear. Slowly he turned against his sister. One day, Cleopatra was forced to leave the palace. She had to run away for her life. She went into the desert with only a few loyal followers. She had no army, no home, and no throne. She had nothing, but she still had her courage and her brain. In the hot desert, Cleopatra did not cry. She did not give up. She made a plan. She knew she needed help to return to power. At that time, a famous Roman general named Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt. He came to settle problems in the country. Cleopatra saw this as her chance. If she could speak to Caesar, maybe he would help her. But there was one big problem. She could not enter the palace. Her enemies were watching the gates. If they saw her, they would capture or even kill her. Cleopatra had to think of something smart, something brave, something no one had done before. She came up with a bold idea. Late one night, she had her servant roll her inside a large carpet. Then, the servant carried the carpet to Caesar's room as a gift. When the carpet was unrolled, Cleopatra appeared. She stood tall and calm, even after being hidden for hours. She looked into Caesar's eyes and began to speak. She did not beg, she did not cry, she spoke with passion. She told Caesar about her love for Egypt, her desire to be a good queen, and the troubles caused by her brother and his advisors. Caesar was surprised. He had never met a woman like her. She was smart, beautiful, and full of courage. Caesar decided to support her. He believed Cleopatra was the true ruler of Egypt. He helped her fight against her brother's army. The war was short but intense. In the end, Ptolemy XIII was defeated. Some say he drowned in the Nile while trying to escape. Cleopatra became queen once again. This time, she ruled with strength and confidence. She also became close to Caesar. They worked together to bring peace and growth to Egypt. They shared ideas, meals, and dreams. Their connection grew stronger with time. Soon, Cleopatra gave birth to a son. She named him Caesarion, which means Little Caesar. She believed her son would become a bridge between Egypt and Rome. She dreamed of a future where both lands could live in peace. Back in Alexandria, Cleopatra began to make changes. She opened schools and libraries. She invited teachers to come and help children learn to read and write. She even welcomed girls from poor families to study in her palace. She believed education was for everyone. Cleopatra also helped farmers grow more food. She improved trade with other countries. She made Egypt stronger day by day. Cleopatra was more than just a queen. She was a leader, a mother, and a dreamer. She had lost everything, and yet she came back stronger. She used her mind, her words, and her heart to win back her throne. Her clever carpet plan showed the world that intelligence can be more powerful than an army. Her story teaches us that when life becomes difficult, we must not give up. We must stay brave, think clearly, and trust in our ideas. Like Cleopatra, we can rise again, no matter how far we fall. After Julius Caesar died, Cleopatra returned to Egypt. She was very sad. She had lost her strongest supporter and the father of her son, Caesarion. Many people in Rome did not trust her. They did not like that a Roman leader had a child with a foreign queen, but Cleopatra did not let the sadness stop her. She continued to rule her country with strength and wisdom. She taught her young son how to lead. She told him, "You must care for the people. A ruler must always listen and be kind." She believed that Caesarion could one day become a great leader, someone who could bring peace between Egypt and Rome. Some years later, another powerful Roman leader came into Cleopatra's life. His name was Mark Antony. He was strong, brave, and known for his success in battles. At that time, Rome was in trouble. Many men wanted power. One of them was Octavian, the adopted son of Julius Caesar. Mark Antony and Octavian were not friends. They both wanted to control Rome. Mark Antony needed help. Cleopatra had the power and the riches that he needed. He invited Cleopatra to meet him in a city called Tarsus. Cleopatra did not go like a normal guest. She arrived on a golden ship with purple sails. Music played as she came. She wore beautiful clothes and perfume. She looked like a goddess from the old Egyptian stories. Mark Antony was amazed. He had never seen a woman like her. She was not only beautiful but also smart and confident. They spent time together. They talked about life, about leadership, about their dreams. They fell in love. Mark Antony followed Cleopatra back to Egypt. They lived together in Alexandria. They laughed, danced, and enjoyed great banquets. More than that, they planned a future together. They wanted to rule a great empire, side by side. Cleopatra gave birth to 3 children with Mark Antony. Their names were Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. Cleopatra was proud of her family. She dreamed that her children would one day rule lands in peace and wisdom. But their happiness did not last. In Rome, Octavian was angry. He told the Roman people that Cleopatra was dangerous. He said she used magic to control Mark Antony. He told them she wanted to rule Rome. These were lies, but many people believed them. War began between Octavian and the couple. The biggest battle was called the Battle of Actium. Cleopatra and Mark Antony brought their ships. They were ready to fight for their future. But the battle was hard. Octavian's army was strong. During the fight, Cleopatra's ship turned away and sailed back. Some say she wanted to protect the rest of the fleet. But Mark Antony thought she had betrayed him. He believed she had left him alone in battle. He was heartbroken. He felt lost. He could not live with the pain. So, he took his sword and fell on it. When Cleopatra found him, he was still alive. She held him in her arms. He died in her embrace. Now Cleopatra was alone. Octavian was coming. She knew he would take her to Rome as a prisoner. He would show her in chains, not as a queen, but as a trophy. Cleopatra could not accept that. She had lived her life with pride. She would not end it in shame. She dressed in her royal clothes. She wore her crown. She gathered her treasures and symbols of her life. Then, she let a small snake called an asp bite her. This snake was a symbol of royalty in Egypt. It brought death quickly. Cleopatra died with dignity on her own terms. After her death, Egypt became part of the Roman Empire. The age of the pharaohs was over, but Cleopatra's story did not end. People all over the world still talk about her. They admire her beauty, but also her intelligence and courage. She was a queen, a mother, a lover, a warrior, and a leader. She lost battles, but she never lost her spirit. Her story teaches us to be strong, to fight for what we believe in, and to never forget who we are. Even today, Cleopatra's name lives on. She is not just part of history. She is a symbol of power, passion, and purpose. Now, we have reached the end of the amazing story of Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt. From a little girl who loved learning, to a young woman who fought for her throne, to a powerful leader who ruled with wisdom and heart, Cleopatra showed us the true meaning of courage. She was not perfect. She made mistakes. She lost people she loved. She faced lies, betrayal, and even war. But through it all, she stayed strong. She used her mind. She spoke with power. She loved deeply. And she never gave up on her dream to make Egypt a proud and powerful land. Cleopatra's story is full of history, love, and struggle. But more than that, it is full of lessons we can still use today. So, what can we learn from Cleopatra? We learn that it does not matter where you come from or how hard life becomes. What matters is how you face your challenges. Cleopatra lost her throne, but she found a way to return. She faced powerful enemies, but she stayed brave. She lost the people she loved, but she still stood tall. We also learned the power of learning. Cleopatra studied languages, books, and culture. That knowledge made her different. It made her a better queen. And today you are learning, just like her. By listening to this story in English, you are training your mind. You are getting better every day. And remember, leadership is not about shouting or showing off. It is about listening, caring, and acting with kindness. Cleopatra was respected not just because of her beauty, but because of her heart and intelligence. If you feel tired in your journey, think of Cleopatra. If you feel lost, think of her courage. If you feel like giving up, remember how she stood again and again. She teaches us to believe in ourselves and never let fear win. Now, congratulations! You have just finished a full English story. That means your listening and understanding are improving. Be proud of yourself. If you enjoyed this story and want more English stories like this, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the strength to create more beautiful and useful content. And if you feel kind today, please consider donating to help us continue. In the beginning, it's hard to build a channel, and we do this for free, to help you grow, learn, and succeed. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next story. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and always stay brave, just like Cleopatra.